Back with another Bond review, and today we're going to talk about On Her Majesty's Secret Service. And this one I liked a lot, actually. Of course, this is the George Lazenby Bond movie, the only Lazenby Bond film. Prior to this, Sean Connery had done 5 Bond movies. During the filming of You Only Live Twice, he would retire, from the character, but he would come back for Diamonds Are Forever. See, even the birds like, I want Sean Connery back. But yeah, I think, with You Only Live Twice, I think a few people out there have said about the film that they could even see it in the movie that, Connery doesn't look as interested or he looks bored. I don't see that. To me, You Only Live Twice is still a really solid Bond movie. But here you have George Lazenby. And, Lazenby, prior to this, he didn't really have a lot of acting experience. I mean, he's a former model. From what I understand, he was an auto mechanic. He was a martial arts instructor in the military. I could be wrong about that. If I am, please correct me. And yeah, like I said, I mean, not a lot of, Lazenby. He didn't have a lot of acting experience prior to this. And they looked at all, like everybody. They looked at a bunch of people to fill in the role of Bond. And I thought Lazenby pulled it off. I mean, I thought he rose to the occasion. And this is also during a time where Lazenby was getting all sorts of heat from the press, being compared to Sean Connery. And I still like Connery a lot. I love Goldfinger, Dr. No, and all that, but I thought he did fine. And whatever the case was, I know there's different reasons out there as to why he only did one, and maybe I'll get into that. But I wish that Lazenby could have done one more, or 2 more, because I thought he did fine. And I know some people out there say that, oh, he's wooden and this and that, and I don't see it. And to me, I thought he worked. And like I said, I thought he rose to the occasion. And of course, I mean, if you were to ask me, I would prefer Connery. I prefer Connery more. And, when we get to Roger Moore, because I really haven't seen a lot of the Roger Moore Bond movies. So, when we get to those, I'll talk more about that. I mean, of course, I prefer Connery more, but I felt that Lazenby should have gotten more of a chance. Again, maybe you could have gotten him for 1 or 2 more, because I thought if he would have continued on, I'm not saying that he would have, to me that, oh, he should have done the next 5 or 6, but again, I thought maybe he should have done 1 or 2 more. But getting into the story of this movie, basically 007's on leave, and in the beginning, you have this woman who was trying to commit suicide, played by Diana Rigg, Tracy, this character, Teresa, which she was gorgeous. And I know she passed away early this year, which is unfortunate, but her father is this crime syndicate type. He's a, sort of a crime boss, powerful, again, crime syndicate type of person, character. And he's impressed by Bond, and he wants him to protect his daughter by marrying her. And in exchange, he offers Bond information which would lead him to his archenemy, Blofeld. This time played by Telly Savalas. And, of course, I think, Kojak. And soon, this takes, Bond to Switzerland, and he must pose as this character, Sir Hilary Bray, to find out that the secret plan of Blofeld and their paths collide at this clinical research facility atop of the Piz Gloria in the Swiss Alps, the rotating restaurant, which is a really cool setting throughout the movie, because a lot of the film takes place in this, rotating restaurant in the Swiss Alps. And I'm like, this is, pretty cool setting for the movie. And at this facility, Bond learns that Blofeld has been, kind of experimenting with these group of young British, uh, women of their allergies, livestock, food, what have you, and he's brainwashing them, along with this other character, Irma Bunt, and like I said, they've been brainwashing these characters, and 007 is in this facility trying to figure out more about Blofeld, and you find out Blofeld is planning to destroy mankind with a deadly virus, and it's up to Bond to stop Blofeld. So that's kind of the story here. Now, directed by Peter Hunt, who was the editor for Dr. No and Goldfinger. I don't know what else this guy has directed, but, as far as the direction, story, what have you, this is definitely more of a personal Bond film. That's the best word I can use, because it's more about, the relationship with this character, Teresa. Like you really get more into the human side of Bond. It really goes in depth of, again, Bond having a relationship in this one, and then, towards the end, marrying the woman, the Teresa character, Diana Rigg. And again, it felt more personal, especially in the ending, which I'll talk about. But you get, again, it's more depth to the character. It's more of a more human. I guess I could use that word, but it's a good story. But Peter Hunt, I thought, did a great job directing. I mean, this is not as. It's more about emphasizing, again, Bond's relationship. It's not so much about the gadgets, what have you, which is something I think he mentioned. There's a documentary on the Blu-ray, and I did watch, and I think they even said that they didn't want to, have this movie put focus on sort of the gimmicky, side of that, the Bond movies where it's about the gadgets, what have you. Here it's more about the story, and again, Bond's relationship with Teresa, and kind of be more story. I'm trying to find the word. Don't you hate it when you try to find the word? And primarily, I mean, just again, more story driven. That's the word I was looking for. Instead of more on the gadgets. But anyways, so I thought Peter Hunt, did a great job at that, sort of developing that story, and as well as where you have Bond and the Piz Gloria, the rotating restaurant, investigating, and the whole setting of that area, and it's well shot. I mean, it's a well shot movie, and you get that a lot, especially when the action kicks in. Then there's a lot of great aerial shots where, and I haven't even talked about the action yet, but when the action does happen, it's big scale. It's a lot of big scale action. A lot of nice aerial shots. Where there's a lot of, ski scenes where Blofeld and his men are going after Bond on skis, and then you have an avalanche. And then, later on when you get to this attack on the Piz Gloria, there's a lot of firepower and great gunplay. Even Diana Rigg's character's kicking ass in those scenes, but a lot of great ski chases, and again, Bond being pursued down the mountain. And you get a little bit of action too with the cable car that goes up to the Piz Gloria. You get a little bit of that, and a little of action inside the Piz Gloria, where I think there's this one scene where Bond is, when he's captured, he's thrown into this room, and he's like, they're all the mechanics are there of the cable car, and he's trying to slide on the cable. But I thought that was really interesting. And the whole Piz Gloria setting, the restaurant setting, again, I thought was really nice. And it really made the film pop out. Like, it really made the film pop as far as, making it, it looked like a big movie. And it made it look big scale. And that's what I really enjoyed. Now, the runtime of this movie is 2 hours and 22 minutes. But for here, compared to, let's say, Thunderball, I was more invested here. Um, I still like Thunderball, and that's I think 2 hours and 10 minutes. This one is about again 2 hours and 22, so it's about 10 minutes longer. But it's like for me, I felt that in Thunderball, but for here, I didn't really feel that. I don't know if it's to me, I was more invested in the story. I was more invested in Bond's investigation. Bond being in this the setting of the Piz Glory in the Swiss Alps. Like I didn't really feel that here, and I thought the action was a little bit better here, especially again when it kicks in the third act. Like with Thunderball, there's a lot of course, you get the typical exposition, but again, I didn't really feel that here. Um, I mean, Thunderball has a lot of great, underwater shots, but maybe it's because, maybe I prefer, this type of location compared to a lot of underwater action, but, again, I didn't really feel the runtime here. Again, maybe it's because I was invested in the story and Bond's relationship with this girl, where they added depth to the character, if I can get the word out right. But so I thought the runtime was fine. Now, this is what it says about the box office, if you will, a little bit of information. Because again, I'm new to all this. A lot of these Bond movies I haven't seen. GoldenEye is great, but when I get into, the Roger Moore stuff, it's going to be a lot of first time watching. So I'm trying to provide a little bit of information with each movie. But it says right here, although the film was not as successful as previous Bond films, some people out there consider this the best of the series. Excuse me. I had lunch before this, but with many critics feeling that Lazenby nailed the character of Bond as described in the novels. Some fans of the movie series, however, are disappointed by his interpretation, as it significantly diverged from Connery's portrayal of the character. Others claim that his wooden acting robbed his screen relationship with Diana Rigg of any romantic chemistry. I didn't think he was wooden. I thought him and Diana Rigg had good chemistry. And also says there's a persistent belief that the film was poorly performed. But this is not true. It was actually the second highest grossing film of that year, being outgrossed by Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So they went on to gross 87 million worldwide, only 24 million less than Connery's previous offering. With inflation taken into account, the film outgrossed 3 of Roger Moore's Bond movies, as well as both of Timothy Dalton's films. It also outgrossed Connery's unofficial Bond movie, Never Say Never Again. And despite Lazenby's efforts to portray Bond, he would not reprise the role in Diamonds Are Forever. His agent convinced him that the tuxedo-clad secret agent would be, I guess it would hurt, or I guess it wouldn't. I guess Lazenby's agent felt that that character would not work going on, especially when you get into the 70s, but I disagree. I felt, again, going back to what I said earlier, I felt that Lazenby would have worked if he was given more of a shot, but I think his agent, and I think they even mentioned this in the documentary, that his agent had said something to the press that, this is the last one, but I think even Lazenby regrets not doing more. So, I mean, maybe his agent should have never said anything. Let Lazenby make the decision. I mean, that's just me. And he was offered a 7-film contract. However, he signed a letter of intent to star in Diamonds Are Forever and was even paid an initial installment of his fee, which he was refunded. But still, I mean, and again, I think Lazenby looks back that he should have done more. So at the end of the day, on Her Majesty's Secret, and I didn't even talk about the ending. And I'm here about to give overall thoughts on the movie. But, as far as the ending, I can't believe I was about to skip over the ending. But and this is spoiler alert for people who haven't seen the film. I would say skip this review, but of course, at the end, the girl dies, getting shot, and of course, you have that last line. James Bond's talking to the girl. It's all right. It's quite all right. She's having a rest. We'll be going on soon. We have all the time in the world. And, I thought that was a really sweet moment. And again, it made Bond relatable. Not to say that he wasn't relatable before, but this really, again, added more depth to the character. That here's a guy that, got married, and just like that, it didn't work out because his girl got killed, and he felt that. I mean, he felt that right here, and it's quite an ending, to a Bond movie. And again, it makes you really feel for Bond, and it really hits you right here. And so, I mean, I thought the ending, again, quite an ending to end the movie. It's impactful, definitely. But, at the end of the day, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, this is one that I really liked. And, when I get down to the top 10 or what have you, I can see this being in my top 10 because, yeah, like I said, I mean, I prefer Connery more. Pierce Brosnan, I prefer more, but I thought Lazenby did fine, and I thought he filled the role perfect. I mean, well, not perfect, but you know what I mean. I mean, I thought he did more than fine, and he should have gotten more of a shot. Yeah, he's no Connery, he's no Pierce Brosnan, what have you, but Lazenby. Oh, he was wooden. No. To me, he was not wooden. And this, to me, was a really good Bond movie with a good story. And again, it really added depth to the character. And, yeah. So, a really good Bond movie. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. And stay tuned for my review of Diamonds Are Forever. But, once again, thank you for watching. And have a good day.